What's happening, sports fans? We welcome you back to another week of San Diego Prep Insider. I almost said Chris. I almost said Tommy. Oh my God, Christian Pedersen here in studio. Tommy Morris is joining us for potentially the last time ever remote, and then we're going to throw away our Zoom accounts and we're gonna all do this in person. Bodie De Silva is also joining us from Scorebook Live, the official digital content provider of the entire state. But we don't care about any of the other reporters, just Bodie, because he covers the San Diego section. Guys, literally. Oh, Tommy, yes.
How do I turn the ding off of my computer when I get a text? I literally never been able to figure this out.
Oh, dude, that's deep in the settings category.
Yeah. Why does it do that? I canceled out of the messages app. It should just not do that.
System preferences. I had to Google it.
All right. So I want this to be in here because I want everyone out there to hear it too, because this is ridiculous. I've been on so many Zoom calls and stuff throughout this pandemic, and I've never figured this out, and it's driving me insane. Sorry, but everybody needs to know. So system preferences, I will figure it out. For the people, I will let them know.
Also, whatever's over your right shoulder, like, makes me think like I'm at like some EDM festival. It's like flickering.
Oh, because when I go in and out of frame, it changes what it's focused on. Seeing that?
Oh yeah, Tommy's lighting situation's a little but that's new home studio for Tommy.
Yes.
The perils.
Well, I don't have a desk yet. It's been I've ordered furniture's been really back ordered since COVID, and I ordered all my stuff in December, and it is now almost April. So,
right. All right. Well,
I'm sitting at a corner coffee table. That's where I've been for the last 4 months.
At SD Prep Insider on Twitter, social media, all the social medias, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok. I don't think we put polls on TikTok yet, but you can find our first poll of the day. Do you know how to stop the ding your computer makes when you get a text?
Found it. I'll leave it at. I'm not going to tell anybody.
Hey man, it's the small. It's this.
And that was from the computer. That was the computer. I promise. That could not have been more poorly timed. That was from the computer.
Perfectly timed email of all time. Guys, crazy week in high school sports. The first full week of football games, we saw a bunch of blowouts, a bunch of great games. We've got literally every other sport is back. Cross country, field hockey have come to an end. I think volleyball is over now. Let's start with game balls. We're going to go in a wide spectrum and just say all sports are on the table. And I want to start with a game ball out to San Marcos baseball. They've been knocking the cover off of the ball, but most specifically and recently, they win 7-0 over Chula Vista yesterday. I love San Marcos baseball, man. They just always provide offense. And I love me. I mean, I don't get me wrong. I love pitching and whatnot, but at the high school ranks, give me daddy hacks. Give me big home runs. So that'll be my first game ball of the day. Bodie De Silva, do you have a first game ball that we can discuss?
Yeah, I was going to go San Marcos as well. I will come back.
Oh, no, this is horrible.
I will come back to that one for a more recent game. Yesterday, Point Loma took down El Capitan 14-4. And shortstop Ethan Gorson goes by Deuce Gorson, an Arizona signee, 2 for 4, 2 home runs, 6 RBIs. So early season, guys are swinging it, and I love seeing that.
Tommy Morris, first game ball of the day for you.
How about a little bit of Helix? How about James Whitman hitting a grand slam yesterday against St. Cedro? They ended up winning by 4 runs. So pretty important grand slam.
I want to put this on the poll. Is the grand slam the biggest flex in all of sports?
It's up there.
Ooh. Can Bodie and I like nominate other things?
Yes, please.
I mean, how would you compare that to like a no-hitter?
I don't know.
Well, a no-hitter is a game accomplishment. A grand slam is like a one-moment instant thing.
Yeah.
But it's worth the most, like, respectively for like points. You know what I mean? Like, I don't think anything compares. It'd be like scoring 4 touchdowns at once.
Yeah, it's like half court still worth as much as a 3-pointer.
Are you saying in terms of like a highlight? We need more clarity on this. Because I would say it's like full court shot to buzzer beater to full court, half court buzzer beater to win a game is pretty sweet. I think any sort of special teams touchdown is pretty sweet.
Ooh, special teams touchdowns are nasty.
Let me go with blocked field goal return the other way for a touchdown, because that's like a 10-point swing. I think that's a bigger flex.
Deal. You're welcome to quote tweet our poll and get the people riled up. Get them riled up, Tommy. I will give out. Wait. So we got your game ball there with the grand slam. So I will give a game ball out to. I want to give a game ball out to all the field hockey coaches, all the volleyball, all the season 1 coaches. Because coming back for like 4 games or 6 games or 2 meets or something like that, to go through all of the logistical work of it. And I have one of the coaches here now, Coach Casey Simons. What is this? Come. Wow.
I thought strawberry coffee. I thought the dog was going to appear in frame.
We'll bring Kingsley back on the show. Oh, wow. A vanilla latte mid-show in my La Jolla mug. Nice. But yeah, all the season 1 sports, I think that it cannot be stated how tedious and difficult it is right now in the age of COVID to get practices done when you can't have your defense, next to your offense, actually practicing defense, like all of the minutia and all the logistics to go through that for 4 games or whatever, when you don't even have your full, I want to give a huge shout out to all the adults that made this all happen. Bodie, game ball number 2 for you.
Yeah, I'll go back to baseball here. St. Augustine takes down University City 10-2. Junior Cade Martinez, 2 for 4, a home run and a double. I think Saints is a team that's really going to sneak up there this year, baseball wise. A bunch of committed juniors. I think this is a really good team that, for me at least, is top 5 now and possibly could be climbing.
Should we put it on the poll at SD Prep Insider? Is Saints baseball sneaky good? Is that?
I don't think Saints can be sneaky good at anything, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, yeah. No, maybe that's the better poll question. Is Saints allowed to be sneaky good at any sports?
I think, yeah. When you see the purple uniforms, you kind of make an assumption.
Do I do Saints? Is Saints SAINT' or is it just S?
No, because it's St. Augustine, and then they're the Saints, technically. Saintsmen. So maybe. I don't know. Another game ball I'm going to go to, I'm going to steal Bodie's thunder too. I'm going to go Nick Herman, 15 points, Torrey Pines, also Otto Lenderum with 17 points. It's always cool when you see 2 guys get 15 plus in the same game. Also, Otto shot 80% from the field yesterday. That was pretty crazy.
I would like to give a game ball out to Manai Hazlitt. Your Nick Herman kind of reminded me of that. I just wanted to give a game ball out to basically both of those kids. Incredible stories of fighting back to be here. We featured Nick Herman obviously prominently on our Building Character segment a couple years ago, but a lot of kids there who embody this sports is more than just X's and O's. So a big game ball to them being healthy and happy and making it through sports. I didn't coordinate how many games. Do we all have 4 game balls or I'll just keep bouncing around until we're done with shout outs. Keep going, Bodie.
Sure. Going back to San Marcos baseball, I know you had one early on. I'll go back to an earlier game. Ryan Rivera, their third baseman, headed to USD. He's a junior, 2 home runs in their first game of the year. So the ball is definitely flying early on, even though the teams are just getting going.
Would like to give a shout out to Los Fieros, the student section at Cathedral Catholic, for quote tweeting is the Grand Slam the biggest flex, and go, winning a championship has to be. They have been a very aggressive Twitter account. They have been a very aggressive Twitter account in terms of statistical championships this Tommy, next game ball.
I don't know. It's kind of tough. It's kind of weird giving game balls in a loss. Can I
go for it? We're breaking new ground here as a show.
All right. How about 22 points for Chase Weber over at Scripps Ranch basketball in there? Again, they did not beat Coronado, but that's a tough matchup because everyone knows who is on Coronado. So again, 11-point loss, but dropping 22 against a team like Coronado is pretty good. So.
Would you happen to say that they dropped 22 against the team that has the best player in the San Diego CIF section?
That's what I was getting at, yeah.
And who was also the best player in the San Diego CIF section last year?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, wait, they don't have Jurian Dixon on the team.
That's right.
Nah, Wayne McKinney's good. Wayne McKinney be real good. I will close out my last game ball. Man, I'm looking through all these different scores. Like it is kind of insane to look at just every single day we have a billion different scores going on.
So yeah, this has been like a giant. It's almost like an embarrassment of riches trying to pick these game balls because every sport is playing right now. So
I want to give a game ball / shameless plug, if you will, to Mount Miguel basketball. Coach Ryan Mayer gets his career started out there with a win over Helix. They have some really, really, really good talent. You might have heard our game being broadcast by Jonathan Rifkind on Tuesday, but Coach Mayer gets the game ball because right before his varsity game, he had to ref the JV game. So I feel like that's a pretty decently impressive day when you have to, in a mask, ref your own JV game, running up and down the court, and then turn around and coach your varsity game. So game ball to the program, but specifically to Coach Mayer, and congratulations on his first win as a Mount Miguel Matador. Calling it now, on the record, on the show, within the next 5 years, Mount Miguel is one of, if not the best basketball schools in the county. Or in the whole section. Dynasty. That is my GameStop. I am diamond hands. I am all in. I'm buying all the Mount Miguel stock right now, and I am holding forever. But I just want to be on the record. I'm first. Bodie De Silva, your next scorebook live game ball, please.
Yeah, I will stay with baseball. I'll go on the other side. Nick Huey, a senior pitcher at Bonita Vista, their opener for the year, 7 innings, 1 hit, shutout, 9 strikeouts against Cathedral Catholic. So we know that's a good lineup. Really impressive start to the year. And Bonita and Cathedral, 2 teams that I think are going to be battling out the whole year.
Tommy Morris.
Okay, I got really cocky in my pronunciation, so I really wanted to do this name specifically because I want it. If I get it wrong, I get it wrong, Ryan. I'm sorry. How about Ryan Wodowitz from Canyon Crest Academy? Hit a home run in their win over Ramona. He was also 2 for 3 on the game, pair of RBIs. I believe he walked as well. So big game for the senior from CCA. I think I got it right.
I'll give you 100% nailed it because I just found out I've been saying Coach Ryan Mayer wrong. I've been saying it Meyer, and apparently it's Mayer.
Yeah.
No. Yeah, Jonathan Rifkin just told me that. He goes, no, it's Mayer. I'm like, oops. Thanks, Aaron Bergen, for never correcting me on that one.
I played for him for 2 years and I got it wrong. So
any more game balls? Or can we move on to some discussion?
I don't know why no one ever corrected me.
Because you were a JV legend, Tommy.
I never actually played for him. That's right. JV doesn't count. So.
Any more game balls before we move on? I got a couple of things I want to discuss a little bit in depth. Later in the show, we will also have our game previews from football Friday night, tomorrow night. No, we're good. All right, sweet. Wanted to just kind of ask about Point Loma. Joel Allen, the head coach, joined us earlier in the week to kind of give his thoughts on it, and I didn't want to necessarily rehash the whole conversation because a fair amount of it has been dragged out on social media, but I just wanted to get your guys' thought on going forward. Does some of Joel Allen, and I know, Tommy, you talked with Coach James at San Diego, does just some of the generalities of this season maybe bring up that it's time to break down some of the restrictions, loosen some of the stuff, and really focus on parity and even play, and have some of the rules in general just be catered a little? I don't know exactly what I'm asking, but I feel like it might just be time to take off some of these restrictions and rules that have been in place long before the current divisions and relegation system, because CIF's ultimate goal is fair play. And I feel like this pandemic is bringing up the fact that sometimes a program just needs to flex up or down in a given year and just be like, look, we are not at that level this year and it's not fair to us. So in the spirit of high school CIF athletics, we need to go this direction, or we need to go parallel or side. Like it just, Bodie, I see you nodding your head. Tommy, you say, well, I'll get out of my way. Tommy, let's start with you.
No, I think the problem here, and I'm not, again, kids transfer for a number of reasons. It is what it is. But when you have kids transferring so frequently, and now it's kind of gotten out of control to the point, and again, it's not crazy numbers, but you run into situations. I mean, I watched an interview with Coach Allen. They started with 80 kids and now they have 40 in the whole program. You have to make the assumption for CIF that if Point Loma has a bunch of kids, normally they're going to continue to have that many. And then some kids either left or I don't know what happened, if they quit or other sports. It's a weird year. But when the team size, and this only really applies to football, when the team size fluctuates that much, it makes a huge impact, not only on the wins and losses, but the safety of the other kids. So it's tough. And there's no way really to fairly say like, oh, we're not good this year, so we deserve to go down or we deserve to go up. Because I've had this conversation with a lot of parents, and quite frankly, I don't think a lot of parents, players, or coaches give a, whether they win a Division 2, 3, or 4 championship, it's still in their eyes a championship. So they're going to try and put themselves in the best situation to win one. So they always want to be at the top level of a division. And when you get in the situation where people are always up and down and we're trying super hard to make sure that they're not the same teams win every single time, you're going to run into these wonky things where a team just gets kind of caught on a year. And this was my fear when we started doing this whole thing with the rankings and stuff like that, is there's certain schools that don't have a constant flow of kids. Like if you're Torrey Pines, you're always going to have a bunch of kids. If you're Cathedral, you're always going to have a bunch of kids. If you're, Mission Hills or Poway, or the bigger schools, are always going to have a bunch of kids. It's when you run into these schools that are either smaller public or private schools where they really have kind of no control over how many kids they're going to get. And again, this is specifically football, where this becomes a huge issue. So I think the going up and down works in other sports, but in football, it just doesn't. And this is kind of a clear-cut example. And I talked to Coach James too. He's like, why is it fair? He said, I understand that my school's enrollment is 2,500 kids, but I have 25 of them playing football. I am more of in the same situation that a small private is, rather than a Torrey Pines with the same enrollment. And he's right. It's not the same thing. Not enrollments are created equal.
Cody?
Yeah, no, I think I really agree with Tommy. I'm not sure the exact way to do it, but I definitely do think that football, when you need so many more players really to even compete, just is on a different level, and however you go about trying to find a fair way to make it. I get that not every school and every level is going to fit the box that some template may be. But I think it's definitely worth having a conversation, because I think we got to find a way to try and make it as fair and equal for every school.
So football is always. Go ahead, Tom.
I think that the secret to this, especially in football, is just less movement up and down. The other sports, not as big of a deal again, but you will see a lot of kids pick their high school based off of, if they know they want to play football, based off how the football team is. And you'll see a lot of kids on campus. I mean, nobody wants to admit this, but kids don't want, they'll go out for football if the team's good, and they won't if they're bad. Because a lot of kids in this generation don't have, and I'm not knocking generation, they don't want to play for the sake of playing. They want to play because they want to be on a good team. And it used to not be that way. It used to be, you went to your school, if you want to play football, you did. Now kids are kind of selecting their high schools based off of the way the team performed recently. So you get these crazy fluctuations up and down, where you get these large groups of kids either coming in to a school or leaving school, and it totally messes with it. So there's, again, especially a sport like football, where it takes a little more commitment, and it's a little bit different than the other sports because there is a risk factor there. It is really, really hard to do it this way, where you're constantly bringing teams up and down. And then the Bishops is stuck in Division 2 or Division, wherever they are. So, that's never going to be equal again, because one person swung basically that whole entire team up for 4 years.
Bishops is going to be good in a couple of years. They're going to be fine. But I will say, I disagree with one. I agree with so much of you guys, what you're saying. Football definitely is the launch pad and the paradigm with which all other sports are dragged. If football needs this, the rest of the section is going to get it. If football needs that, the rest of the section is going zig and zagging with them. I will say one thing though, Tommy, kind of disagree with you that you say that it if you're a big school, your Powways are always going to be that. And I would say that the change might be very slow, and it might move at a glacial pace sometimes, but the change can be real over time. And I look at Crawford, and I look at Hoover, and I look at some of those schools that at one point were the athletic powerhouses, bar none, of San Diego. And that's a 50-year span from when they went from there to where we are now. So it's a very slow change, but I think that there is just the need of understanding that sometimes a generation or two will matriculate through a school that you just don't have a quarterback. You just don't have an offense. You don't have big kids anymore. You have kids that are more into gaming or more into basketball. I think that there needs to be some insular built in that prevents you from falling off that cliff. And then all of a sudden, like you said, oh my gosh, I don't want to go out for that football team. They haven't won a game in 2 years. And it becomes a cyclical downhill thing. So, I don't
want to get blown out by 50 and get hurt. I get it. But the problem is, the only way to fix it is not a good solution either. The only way to fix it is how many kids sign up for that sport. But then you get in a situation where coaches cook the numbers, and it's just going to get uglier. So I think it was better the way it was back when we were in high school, where teams pretty much just stayed in their divisions. And if you
no. I'm going to disagree with you there, because I think that every single D4 and 5 championship in the last couple of years has been awesome for schools. I think that a lot of the lower division schools, you see schools winning their first ever one or their first one in a long time. And that would not happen if they were still stuck in enrollment base.
But is it the same thing to those schools? I think that's I think you should be able to petition up. If you're if you're La Jolla Country Day girls basketball, there's no reason you shouldn't be an open division. I get that, but
Fair enough.
That's that. But I think that it should be something that adults sit down and look at and be like, look, like, what are you guys getting out of winning Division 4 every year?
Well, then maybe that's
with enrollment based, I think the only way that you could go about still having that is if you were to petition, because I remember my years in high school of Saints and Cathedral, they were Division 3 teams. Like, they're rolling every year, but it's like clearly they would be able to compete with the Division 1, which at that point it was just all the North County public schools. So
I don't know. It's interesting. The great thing is that we don't have to actually make this decision. We just get to talk about it and get clickbait and get views on it. Anything else on this subject, or can we tie a nice little bow on this until the next Twitter thread erupts?
I think the only thing I want to say about it is Point Loma specifically. I think that this decision was made very poorly. I think that this is a decision that needed to be made 3 weeks ago or not at all. I don't know what. Once you start the season, you should finish it. I think if they wanted to not do a varsity season, they should have done it 3 weeks ago and given the kids a chance to go somewhere else. That's the only problem I have with it, that it happened the way it did. And now you're in this weird CF loophole because you can't play for 2 teams in the same season. So what do you would have to make a special COVID rule for these kids, and that stinks. So I would do what Claremont did. Claremont declared not having a varsity team, 3 weeks ago. That's when that would have been an appropriate time to do it. Doing it now is not appropriate, in my opinion.
yeah, going off what Tommy said, obviously there's the rule where if your program's not offering it, you can transfer elsewhere. But the rule that contradicts that is the rule of not being able to play for 2 teams within a year. So it's too bad, because it really, and I'd heard that they were talking about it weeks ago. I mean, I know they had canceled their game against St. Augustine a while ago, and that forced Saints to go find a game against Oceanside here in a couple of weeks. So I just wish, had they done it, they would have done it all at once and kind of given the kids more freedom to figure out what they needed to do.
What do you talk about games coming up? Let's talk about some games coming up this Friday. We got a full slate of them, and we are going to talk about 4 of them in depth to give you previews, analysis, and Bodie's oddly accurate score predictions, because he's become a little bit of a savant on that. First game, what do you say we head out to the East County? We got Grossmont and Granite Hills. Grossmont 1-0, Granite Hills 2-0. Bodie, you want to start with you?
Yeah, 2 teams that were really used to offensively of dominating, and so far this year, Granite Hills has done that. I mean, in 2 games, 104 points, super impressive. Not that, I mean, Grossmont's only played 1 game, and their score was 44-3. So I do like Granite in this game. I think it's super high scoring. I will go 49-38.
Jeez.
Hey, we know what they're used to doing, so I don't think it's any different.
Tommy.
This is going to be a good one. This is going to be a shootout. This is going to be – where are we sending Jonathan this week? Do we know?
On Friday, he will be at Carlsbad San Marcos.
Okay.
Another good one.
We'll talk about that too. But no, this is a good one too. Justin Brown for Grossmont. They used 2 quarterbacks last week because it was a blowout win. Justin Brown, the senior, threw for 194 yards, excuse me. Almost messed him out of 2 yards and 2 touchdowns. Trenton Giles was 9 for 13, 82 yards, 2 touchdowns. So they have 2 good options. Trenton is a junior, so he'll probably be the guy next year. Granite Hills, Justice McComb going to Southwest Minnesota, 9 for 12, 3 touchdowns in their blowout win against Valhalla. Joaquin Thomas, I don't think anyone touched him. He had 8 carries for 160 yards and 3 touchdowns. So 8 carries, 3 of them were touchdowns. Pretty insane. He's also only a sophomore, so he's going to be a name that you should definitely look out for and know in the next couple of years. I like Granite in this one as well. I don't think as many points. I think these teams are used to each other's offenses because they run similar ones. So I think it's going to be somewhere around 28-24.
To me, the deciding factor is just that the run game is a little bit more established for Granite Hills right now. Joaquin Thomas, like you said, he's running the ball well, and that might be absolute stupid minutia, and I have no real football insight, as everybody on social media is always so happy to point out. But I will give it just by an edge to Granite Hills because I like that run game. Let's go ahead and talk about that Carlsbad and San Marcos game. That'll be live streamed for free on our YouTube. Jonathan Rifkin doing a really, really at least mediocre job, if not a decently passable job. He's doing pretty good.
The kid's good.
Up in the North County. Yeah, he's actually really, really good. He's very, 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 very good at his job, considering that he does not have video. So he's just doing radio calls. Carlsbad, San Marcos. Carlsbad, the in the Open Division Championship last year. San Marcos, a sneaky 2-0, a respectable 2-0. They're 2-0 though. So what do we see here? Tommy, let's start with you.
Carlsbad defensively, they had a bunch of offensive touchdowns. They had a great game against Torrey Pines, but defensively, they had a defensive touchdown from Brendan Palguta. I freaking dang it, I messed that one up. I think I did, sorry, Brendan. And also Paulo Burrick with a kickoff return for a touchdown. I was so good at all the pronunciations for so long, and these three names I got really cocky with. San Marcos, most of our offense was provided by Caden Von. Yep. That's how you say it. 255 rushing yards, 2 touchdowns on 2.6 yards per carry in 2 games. They will need a big game out of Trey Bradford on defense. He had a pick 6, I believe, in their game against La Costa Canyon, if I'm remembering it correctly. San Marcos didn't really get tested last week against Coronado. LCC was a little bit more of a test, but not so much. This is Carlsbad's like for real. So I think Carlsbad wins this game by about 3 touchdowns.
Odie?
Yeah, coming into the year, Carlsbad was a team that I certainly thought was top 10, but seeing their performance in week 1, I think they're showing that despite a lot of key losses, maybe they're better than that. They have a really good quarterback in Aiden Sayin, and obviously his younger brother is the backup, who we will know for years to come. But San Marcos has come out.
Would you say saying their last name for a while? Sorry, I messed up your flow.
San Marcos would be their 3rd straight home game to start the year, so I think that'll help them a little bit. But ultimately, Carlsbad, I will go 28-14 here.
Stop with the predictions, man. It's too brutal when you get to me, and I don't want to give any scores. I like Carlsbad. They're good. They're really, really, they're Open Division Championship caliber game good, and I, until I see otherwise, I stick with them. 3rd of 4 games.
I didn't get my actual score. 42-21. Oh, sorry.
42-21. Nice. 3rd of 4 games. We have the Christian Patriots taking on the San Diego Cavers. Coach Danny Charles Mitchell has 20-something seniors. This is a really good this is a really good Christian team. San Diego.
18 somehow.
Yeah. On a roster of 18, does Christian have 22 seniors? That'll be a fun poll. At SD Prep Insider. San Diego, as Tommy alluded to, is a school that is trying to, tread water in a high division when they feel like they should be down 1 or 2. So what do we got here? I think that this Christian team rolls all 6 games this season, or all 5 games, however many they have, and they're going to put up some big numbers. Bodie?
Yeah, I think that they'll handle San Diego this week. Looking ahead, I do think Morse and La Jolla do present somewhat of a challenge. That La Jolla game's one I have circled. I obviously think very high of La Jolla this year, and maybe come a couple weeks, maybe that's a top 10 matchup.
Ooh, big
sail the ship indeed.
If Christian and Modern Day are both in the top 10, I think someone's going to come and take our Twitter account away for no reason.
Dude, we're retiring our top 10s. We're never posting top 10s again.
We do it next week. We're doing it next week. You've not allowed me to do one since the initial one. But
no. I haven't not allowed. You can post your own top 10s whenever you want. We'll retweet them. I'm just not getting any more ish. At least maybe I just won't do it on Instagram.
Put on. No, I like it. I like it.
Then just turn the comments.
Okay, well, no, you like it because in the end, everyone was checking on your mental health to make sure you were okay, and you ended up being right. You ended up being you ended up being the one that was actually sane out of the 4 of us. Yeah, and that's hard to handle. All right, Tommy, did we get your prediction for that game?
No, we haven't. I like Christian this one as well. 352 total yards against Mira Mesa last week. Jack LaFleur, great weapon on offense. Gabe Krung, a solid quarterback. For San Diego, though, watch Jaden Green all year. I think he's a junior. I think he had a little bit of reps on varsity as a freshman. He's going to be a very, very good quarterback, and I think his senior year is going to be huge. Unfortunately, this would be like a big year for him recruiting-wise, so I'm hoping he gets some good film in these 4 games because he definitely deserves it. Good athlete. Amari Rai, another breakout candidate. He was a freshman last year, got some carries in that 3-headed monster of an offense. He'll get some more this year as a sophomore. He's going to be a guy who is probably going to be playing on Saturdays in 3 years.
Sorry about that. That's a heck of a prediction right there. Our last game is okay, deal. Sorry, I was distracted with the dog. Go ahead.
35-14.
35-14. Our final score, our final game is a week 2 Holy Bowl or a week 3 Holy Bowl. Everything sounds weird about that sentence. But hey, why not have Cathedral Catholic and St. Augustine squaring off in a hell of a battle for a heavenly prize? What do we got here?
We probably agreed against redoing week names and numbers because it messes me up and just short circuits my brain.
Deal. No. I'm joking because I had this conversation with Grayson Halton on Instagram, and I hit him up and I was like, "Hey, interview this week," and he's like, "No, man, it's Cathedral week. I'm busy." And I'm like, "Oh,
I love it.
You're right. It is Cathedral week." And I was like, "Dude, I am just so dialed out on like this feeling like an important to me the Holy Bowl happens in like late November type of it's like the last week or two of the season, and now I'm like, nope, it's." I'm watching March Madness and trying to remember that the Holy Bowl is happening. Yeah, I'm all sorts of thrown off. So, I mean, this is going to be one of the better installments of this game in the last 5 years. Both of these teams are make me sad that we don't get to have state championships this year. Like, this is going to be really, really, really good. So, Bodie, let's start with you.
Yeah, unlike Tommy, I did not see either of these teams as my top 2 to start the year. He was the one that was sharp there. I expect this to be a really good game. It's tough for me to pick Saints when we've seen Cathedral's defense through 2 weeks and they've yet to allow a point. I certainly do think that Saints gets on the board. Big offensive line. They got talented skill guys and a really solid returning quarterback. For a score prediction. Well, first I'll mention
your prediction is that Saints will score. That is how high you have the bar set at Cathedral's defense this year. Is your prediction is,
I mean,
Saints will score. I don't know.
What'll be really weird is just you're so used to hearing the student sections at these 2 games. So without that, it'll be a huge change this year. And I know they'll be able to check out a live stream to watch it. It just isn't the same. But I will go 27-17 Cathedral.
Tommy Morris, you care to wade into this one, or are you going to steer clear here?
Okay, I'm going to wade into it. Here we go. So Saints played Madison last week, 157 rushing yards. That was obviously a big part of their game. Passing wasn't as great, but they're all right. Cathedrals look like a monster. We just mentioned the defense. Lucky Sutton with 271 rushing yards and 4 touchdowns in 2 games. Deshaun Swafford, one of the best football players in San Diego. Good returner, good athlete. Can I predict goose egg?
Ooh.
17-0.
Wait, say that again, because we need you to clear out some room here. That's a big prediction. Tommy Morris, hit that one with a little more oomph.
17-0 Cathedral over Saints. You can clip it and put it on the internet.
Oh, with the pen point at the end. Oh my goodness, Tommy. Good, perfect. That'll be nice because that way
will now be played pregame on.
Well, no, that's good because that way Tommy ducks out. He's already gone. He's into witness protection. I'm done with this. I'll go. I will go ahead and be the contrarian as I always am, and I know that everybody at Cathedral and Saints really does not care about any of our opinions, which is the nice thing about this. They take this the least serious of any of the rivalries out there because they are self-involved and they know what they need to know, and they know that we mean no harm by this, and that they're all good schools and they're all good people and they're all good humans, and the Saints is going to win. What?
Saints. Oh, say it louder, please. We'll clip this and put it on the internet.
Oh, we're clipping all these and putting them on the internet. I have Saints in an upset.
I'm making you do a score for this one.
Look, here's what I like. I like that. I like that I look on the stat page and I see Grayson Halton running the ball. Like, that is a big, powerful dude. And I don't know, man. Not that I have questions about the teams that Cathedral has beaten, but I think that this is going to be first real test for both of these teams. And I think that comes out with something that's like a 28-27. I don't want to be like an extra point gets missed, but maybe 2 field goals or something like that.
Score differential then.
Okay, this is going to be a 1-point game. This is going to be something like that. This is going to be something where this is a really close game, but I think this is going to be an amazingly good game that Saints ekes out. If I'm not here next week, you know, the Los Locos found our studio and have kidnapped me, and it was a fun run. And I'll let you guys take over the show next week. Anything else that you want to talk about? Any games we didn't get to for this Friday? I mean, look, we've already gone 40 minutes on the show, so we could sit here for 40 more minutes and keep talking football games. Apparently Kingsley wants to make another appearance. So I would assume that, what's that?
Get the dog on camera.
All right, come here, Kingsley.
It's good for the viewers. People like it. Give the people what they want.
Oh no, biting.
Oh, good dog.
She's getting bigger, man. She's getting bigger.
How big? How big eventually?
Malinois will get up to about 50 pounds.
Oh, man.
She is weighed in at 18 yesterday. And she officially is a La Jolla High fan.
Did you ready to buy like a t-shirt or something?
No, that's a great idea. Okay, I'll let you go. She's excited to meet all of you guys. She's excited to have baseball season back because that means that she gets to meet Dave Ring's dog.
Oh, can I do one more random upset alert? I don't know if it counts as an upset.
Go for it. Patrick
Henry over Madison.
Tommy, tell me more. Tell me everything about what is going on in your mind right now. Or is that it? You just want that one-liner to sneak out on the close of the show?
That's it. Just want
right. Fair enough. Well, Bodie, any hot takes, or let me do the theatrics of we are a corporately run show now, so I do have to bring up the fact that Bodie De Silva has tons of great articles and photo galleries coming out daily on Scorebook Live. You can follow them at SB Live CA on all of the Twitters. You can find Bodie at SD Preps on all of the social medias. You can download the Scorebook Live app for all the stories and scores that you need. Did I do my corporate responsibilities? Are we good?
You did. I appreciate it.
Close it out, Bodie.
I might join Tommy on that. I think that's a good call. Patrick Henry was really impressive last week. Having Kai Jesse, who I think is one of the better receivers in the county. That's a good call.
Not so crazy now, huh? Yeah.
We put that on Twitter. Is Tommy Morris not so crazy now?
Yeah, that's gonna lose.
How about this? We'll close this out. We'll go 2 weeks in. Someone filibuster while I type up this poll with a closing note here.
Let me look through these in case there's anyone. I want to stick my neck out one more time. I don't think I'm going to. I think I've been bold enough so far today. I should just start randomly picking 8-man games. I have a soft spot for the 8-man guys. San Pasqual Academy. No. Victory Christian Academy over San Pasqual Academy. Calling it.
All right, so on our social media at SD Prep Insider, 2 weeks into the football season, do we owe real Tommy Morris an apology for thinking he was crazy?
Yes, everyone does, including my parents.
Hey, man, I always appreciate seeing Susan Morris hit the like button on our Instagram.
Let's go Maranatha over Hamilton. Wow, that's a game.
Now Tommy's getting greedy. Now Tommy hit a 3 in the finals, and now he's just standing in the corner going, "Feed me the ball! Feed me the ball!" All righty, folks. Thank you very much for tuning in to another week of San Diego Prep Insider. As always, we really appreciate your support of local high school athletics, and we will be back next week to talk even more.